Alright guys, this is Docm with another Minecraft video. And guys, it's raining, I'm cold, I think I need to light a fire. Warm and cozy. Yeah, let's keep that burning for a while. Well guys, in my world tour I got the Birdcage set up. You know, I've talked about it a lot and we've seen it in action, and many of you guys have been asking for a tutorial about this setup. Well, I need to talk about some things first before we can get to an inside look on how this thing is created, or a setup like this is created. First of all, basically the Birdcage is a simple skytrap setup. You know, I didn't invent this setup. You know, many other people did that before me, and that is what the Birdcage is. Also, it uses the piston pusher setup right here, and we know this design for a long time. It was also invented by many other people. You know, it's hard to tell who all came up with the single inventions here. You know, credits where credits due, trying to do that right here. So those pusher pistons were also invented and were used. For example, Etho showed them for the high yield traps. So what we got here is just a combination. Why do we use the pusher setup down below? The problem is we wanted to have a trap that can spawn Endermen, and you can see one right here. And as we know, Endermans and water, that doesn't go well together, so we needed a solution to kind of centralize the mobs and be able to collect them in a chamber down here, for the loot. So that's why we replaced, you know, in the first version of that, we used water to push the mobs in the wanted directions. That's why we replaced the setup with the pusher setup here with the pistons. And also, there's another feature to the Birdcage. You can see there's a roof to it. Right now it's nighttime, so we get really good spawn rates anyhow. For daytime, that's what I did, and that was also suggested by my subscribers and viewers. I added a water curtain functionality to that, to the whole setup basically. When it turns to daytime, a water curtain comes down and makes it darker inside, so we kind of maintain decent spawn rates. Down below here you can see a butt switch array. The first butt switch I came across was shown by Etho in one of his videos, and it used a boat, but the actual reacting piston setup was also invented by other people and it's hard to tell again who did that, but this is one development that was made with the basic design, the piston that gets updated and therefore retracts or extends the piston arm. This is a butt switch day-night sensor array by GL2579. All the people I talk about now I will for sure link in the video description, and maybe, you know, there we're also able to find out more about who actually invented these things, but as the Minecraft community is so huge by now, it's always hard to tell. So that's really important. By no means I claim, you know, that I invented any single part of the setup you see here. I just took the parts that were invented by many ingenious people out there and took them to a system that worked for my situation here. And basically the day-night detector is connected to the water curtain system, and whenever a day-night cycle happens, or when it switches from daytime to nighttime, the water curtain will either be activated or shut down, as it is right now, as it is night and we don't need it. The whole idea behind the Birdcage was most of the mob traps are in closed areas or ugly blocks in the sky. When we talk about those sky traps, as this is one of example of one of those. So I wanted to have it look kind of cool, and B, to be able to see what's going on in there, to see the mobs spawning, and have a kind of a see-through feeling. And that's why we have the glass here. And yeah, that's how I came up with this final setup. So, as many people were asking how to build one of these, it's pretty simple, and I thought about a way I will explain it to you, and I made a setup in my test world, the one we just saw, and we will carefully take a look on all stages in your building process and all the different parts, and after that you should be able to replicate a birdcage like setup of your own. It is not completely a remake of the birdcage we see here, but it's the same principle. I revised it a bit, I did some changes. By far, maybe it's not the perfect setup, but it's kind of resource friendly and easy to do. And there we see it. This is the last stage of the birdcage processing whatever array craziness. You saw the water curtain just coming down when the sun was rising, no longer behind the morning wood. So I'd say let's go back to the test world after all this explanation, and let's have a look at the birdcage setup I made right there. Okay guys, we're in the test world right now and it's still raining like crazy. I will soon get rid of that. That is the birdcage I made in the test world here, and you could say it's plain ugly, dude, what the hell? And you're right, it is ugly, but I made it so I can carefully explain how the setup is created and what are the different parts of it. So I use different colors of wool, and also, as you can see here on the sides, those are the piston pusher chutes. I used a lot of glass so we can really see what's going on. Later on, when we're done with the build, as you see, the water curtain mechanism is still missing and there's no roof. You will be able to download this world. I will provide a link in this video description, and also on my channel site, so you can check it out if you want. And also, as many people ask for it, I made sure this test world here is empty before I did a backup. And now I will also provide a download link for this test world here I created this morning. It's basically a 50 by 50 chunks area, so 800 by 800 blocks, and it's completely half slabbed out. And down below you have full clean stone all the way down to a single layer of bedrock, 64 layers down, and 5 layers on top of that, some dirt. And as I said, on top you have the half slab, so you can download this as well from the video description. So I will try to quickly get a bed going and get rid of the rain, or maybe if that doesn't work, well, then I'll just use NBT edit and stop it. So, as we can't use any water because we want to spawn Endermen, because we want to get our hands on those Ender pearls easily, so we needed to think about something else. And well, this is what I did right now, and I say it once again, there might be way more better ways to arrange this. This is what I did for this setup, and I think it works really fine. So simply by having a 3 wide and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3 by 12 area, and have 3 of them with a 1 wide channel dividing the 3 pads. And you see how exactly the half slabs are placed. You just do that for your first floor. Then you need to place down signs. The signs are there because mobs, when they walk around here, will see that as a full block and will willingly walk off the edge, and do that fairly quick. As we have those only 1 wide or 1.5 block wide gaps, or 2 wide on a maximum, we should not get any spider spawns in here. I watched the thing for a long time and haven't seen any. You could argue that this area here between the 2 half slabs is a 3 wide area, but it seems as the gap is right in the middle where the sign is placed, and the algorithm looks to the left, to the right, that's a 3 wide area, But mobs can't spawn on signs on this area here. So in fact, I don't know if you understand me right now, if I can better say if I can explain it correctly, but you know, this is not seen as a full block from the spawn algorithm. So it checks, it doesn't check it, or mobs can't spawn on there. You know, it would check from here, and then you would go, okay, 2 or only 1, because that's not a full block, and so on. So I think it's not a problem. It would be a problem if you have 2 full blocks and then the signs on the corner. That would be a problem, because then it would be 1, 2, 3, but as you interrupt it with these channels here, no spiders are spawning. So as I said, maybe I'm completely wrong right here, but I haven't seen any spiders spawning in here. So this is the first layer, basically floor 1. On top of that there's the ceiling with the half slabs. If you go one area lower, or one level lower, you can see it right here. You can see I did shift the spawning pads over a bit. Right on top, where the signs are, there's the middle of the 2 3x12 spawning pads below. And you can see on the outside here, I have another little spawning area. I'm not quite sure if those half slabs are 100% needed, but I just placed them there to be sure. You could test it if you don't use them. And well, this is the setup for here, and then you go down another floor, and then basically you repeat the same thing you had on the first floor there, directly beneath the floor. Again, 3 of those spawning pads, 3x12, and you have the signs here in the middle. In case you wonder how you place them, it's really simple. You just go to one side here and put a sign down, and then you go back like this and place one sign on the next one. You can stack the signs. If I would break this sign here, all the signs would fall down. Basically, I could demonstrate that to you in case you don't know how to do that, but it is pretty simple. So yeah, I got it in my inventory. So let's break this sign. Bam, and you saw the full row fall down. So I want to quickly show you how you set that up. You basically just point on the sign, right click, and it's a quick job. And you don't need that many signs, you know, if you don't have spawning pads and you place signs all around them. And that one white channel is good enough for the mobs to fall down, no problem at all. Then you go just all the way to the end, and then you have your next level ready. Then you go down another level, and we basically arrive on floor 4 now, if we count from the top. And well, you repeat what we saw on floor 2. Just exactly the same setup. It needs a bit more signs because you have one more channel to fill in here, and basically repeat that. And you can see I used glass panes here on the sides to close it off, just to get our see-through look. And then we go down another block or another level, another 3 high ceiling clearance, as you can see, as between all levels. And the last level, that is how I chose to make the design, is the 2-slot design, so where we have basically the 3x12 spawning pads again. So this is what I made, and below here there's the piston pusher setup, and this is what I'm gonna explain next. So I think this is what you could do. Inside you can make your pads bigger, you know, you can try out different sizes or shapes and different placement of the half slabs. You can use full glass to cover the sides. You can use fences. You can use nether gates, whatever, you know, not nether gates, the nether fences, and you know, whatever you want. Or you can completely close it off, and then you don't have to do the water setup, you know. If you make it completely dark in there, you have a really high efficient trap. And we're gonna watch it for a second now. I'm gonna do a time lapse so we can see if any spider spawns. So we can prove, yeah, that this setup at least works. So yeah guys, I let the machine run for a full night and not a single spider showed up, so we should be good here. And now I'm gonna quickly go to peaceful to explain the next part of the system, which is the piston pusher array. Oh my god, what a tongue twister for me. Okay, peaceful mode is needed. And let's get in there. So, we arrive here at the last floor, and I'm a creeper now and I do this. Ah! Yeah. So this is what happens inside the pusher setup. Let's go upstairs again and let's have a closer look. So we got the signs here. Mobs will walk off and fall down. It depends a bit where they're at. Imagine if you're here in the middle and if you're a mob and you walk off here, you might land up all the way down on that pressure plate, and if you're unlucky and you have taken some damage from your drops, you know, through the levels here, you might end up dead. So, before I explain the setup, I want to quickly talk about an improvement. As you see, if you want to prevent lose of some loot by too high drops, as you can see, there's a chance there is a too high drop in this setup. In the glass chute you see below me, and let's go inside here, you could have little areas. I'm just gonna use the sandstone quickly, where you can prevent fall damage, like so, you know, and spice it up a bit, like here, and so on. Just depends how you want to make it, and like make sure to put signs on the sides here, so mobs will continue to walk off. By doing this you can break their fall and prevent, you know, each and every single piece of loot to be lost. But this system, as I saw, doesn't lose too much, so I'm okay with it right now. But that is one improvement you could do. And now let's have a look on those pusher setups, what is important for them. I'm right on the edge here. So if you look carefully, you see there's the pusher block, and it's made of yellow wool. Behind it there's a sticky piston. So if you want to build a setup like this, I'm gonna quickly destroy it. You go from the edge here. Mobs will walk off and land here. So you may have to make sure they are pushed off this block and land on the next step here. So to make them fall off, we need to push them off, and that is achieved by using a sticky piston with a pusher block. Let's quickly build a setup like this. So you go outside, place down one block and another one, so you have a too wide base here. This block here is just a helper block. You could also build it from here and remove it later on. You don't need it actually. Then you place your sticky piston on that, and you have a too wide gap here, then the sticky piston. Next step, you can do it in a different order, but I'll do it like this so you can see it better, would be to place down a repeater. Make sure to set the repeater on 2 clicks, or on setting 2, right? So default 1, 2. This is key, not to 4 or anything else. Otherwise the pistons can glitch out. If mobs like jump on it and it gets released real quickly, then the blocks can stay here and your system can break. So make sure that is really key. Alright, then put your pusher piston there, and what you would do next, well, now you need your pressure plate to activate the system, and this is where the pressure plate comes in play. You put it down, and there you go, you completed a pusher setup. So let's test it. If I walk off the edge here, fall down, activates, get on the next one, and so on, and get transported down into the lava again. So we see that works, and now what you do, you just repeat this pattern. So where the blue wool, or the magenta I think is the color, wool starts, there's the pusher setup starting. Right, so you go down And now mobs get pushed off that edge, so they fall down. So make sure when they fall down, there's the next pressure plate right below them. So they get pushed off, fall down, and then you make the same setup. Repeater on the second setting, pusher setup, and you repeat that. And again, until you reach the area where you only have a 2 wide gap. And then basically you do the same thing on the other side, all the way down, and then you do the same thing for the second drop here. You might have a different setup for your last floor right here, where you have a centralized drop or whatever, you know, it depends on you, but this is how I made it for now. I used glass on the outsides here just to see what's going on, and it looks kind of cool. Yeah, so repeat the setup all the way down. And now, as I worked my way down, I thought maybe I'll end up with 1 block space, but I ended up with 2, so no big problem. We just repeat the pattern, you know. So mobs arrive here, and the last drop, well, they end up on this pressure plate. And the same thing happens to the other side. They come down from this stair, so they land here. So we just made the same setup. This is another pusher setup, just double wide. Just make a single one and make another one, and you got it. Repeater to the second setting, pressure plate here, pusher setup, just exactly the same as we saw upstairs. So you do that, and you do that on the other side as well. And now we kind of push them into the middle, you know, into our 2 by 1 gap here. We have the lava, but we will talk about that in a minute. This is just to demonstrate. This is not a useful killing device. Okay? So you collect them in the middle, and as you see, we have another set of a double piston pusher setup here. Oh my god, this is killing me. So alright, you see it. Make sure the setting is correct. Always, this is default 1, 2. Make sure to make that do it like that for all the pistons you use. Otherwise, you really might run into trouble. Also, make sure you know to have an encasing, and also right here, make sure they have a high enough clearing. I found out before I had my glass ceiling starting right here. So sometimes mobs get pushed ahead and kind of got stuck in the glass and then suffocated in the blocks here. So make sure to have a nice clearing here, you know. They fall down and you have 1, 2, 3 blocks, and then another gap of 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks even here. Clearance, right? If you go up. So they can really make sure they can fall down. And in the end, as I said, repeat the pattern, and until you end up with a shape you're satisfied. You could maybe even have another piston pusher set up here and push them into a single slot if you wanted. But I think you got the principle behind the setup here. And in the end, well, all mobs end up in my little fireplace we started with. Talking about the loot again, you know, you could lose. As I said, it is because of drop height. So you see, it is a decent drop height if I, well, stand on the lowest possible area they can drop on, and if I look up to the signs here, it's a decent drop height. So, you know, keep that in mind. They can take a lot of damage, especially if they come from the top level. So you can always, as I said, put in floors here inside this glass area to prevent damage, to prevent fall damage. Yeah, so let's quickly get out of the thing. This is how the pusher setup is made, and I'm gonna quickly get rid of the rain again so we can have a look again from the outside. Okay, kind of cursed today with the rain. Okay, so there you can see the design from the outside. I used the glass here, kind of looks bulky, you know. This is how it ended up for this design here. You can play around with different shapes and sizes. You know, I don't want to force a design upon you. I'd rather prefer to explain how it works, and then you should use your own creativity to make it look cool, to to make it work a little bit different. And that's why I kind of didn't want to do a classical tutorial to replicate the birdcage you see in my world tour. So, after we're done with pushing the mobs in the right direction, we basically end up at this setup here. And well, I can close it off and I can collect mobs. You could have an EMP unit down here. You could use whatever you want, a crusher, you know, whatever. You know, just make sure if you deal with Endermen, if you have water in there, it's a problem because they will immediately teleport out of there to the next area available to them, and you will have a huge Enderman problem. So if you want to kill Enderman, yeah, you have to think of a creative way to do it yourself. I'm sure, you know, feel free if you have a nice design to kill Enderman or take care of them, or a nice design you can put down there at the end of our Birdcage setup, of the basic setup at least. Please feel free to post as a video response as usual. And that concludes the first part of the tutorial. The second part now will include how to set up the water and the control for it with the butt switch. In case you're not interested in that, well, that's it for you with the tutorial. You could easily just close off the sides here, as I said, replace the glass panes with full blocks and have a closed off area, and then you would have a fully working trap already. So if you want to do that, that's it. For all of you guys who are interested in how to do the roof and the water curtain, because the roof is a key part as well to make the trap work nicely during daytime, I suggest you keep on watching, and we will get to that now. Okay guys, so now we need to talk about the lighting situation. Right now, as you can see, it's daytime and I'm far enough away from the mob trap excuse me, and I'm still on easy. So normally mobs should spawn. Such a tongue twister video today. So yeah, they should spawn in there. But it's too bright, obviously. So we need to talk about light in Minecraft for a second. Just a little theory thing. So, light level 15, daytime. Right here at the edge of the birdcage, we would have light level 15. If we would go down, I need another color to demonstrate, in a vertical line all the way along here, you know, all the way, it's light level 15. So, there's a roof, so light level starts to decrease from here. So if you would count light level 15 here, the block beneath the roof would have light level 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and so on. But as light is shining in from this side and all sides, we can't work like that. So we need to provide a roof to create a situation where the light level is decreasing along the way until it reaches the edge here of the birdcage. And basically the best situation to have would be to have a light level 0 right at the edge here where the white area starts with the spawning pad. But that would make the birdcage look really ugly, because you would have a huge roof, basically 15 or 14 blocks out all the way around. So that's why the water curtain idea came in. But first we're gonna try to decrease the light level with the roof in there. So I'm gonna use yellow wool for our roof, and we're gonna start it right at the edge, and we're gonna think about it for a second. So if we go, let's say, 4 blocks out from this corner, we got light level 15 here, 14, 13, 12, 11, right? And then 10, and that means where the white wool is, we would have light level 9. So if we add a water curtain right here on the outside or here, we can reduce the water level by another 2. So mobs do spawn with a light level from 7 and below. Sure, if it's completely dark, they spawn better, but they will spawn for light level 7. So that basically means we have to have a 4 wide roof all the way around this birdcage here, and then we're gonna add the water curtain. And well, 4 wide roof, so we basically go out 4 blocks from here again, and we need to close off the edges a bit, And this is basically what we want to do for the roof. It should work with the edge, but I'm gonna go, you can always work with different shapes. I'm not looking for perfect looks right now, so I'm just gonna go with a square shape. And basically I'm gonna make this ring all the way around the birdcage, and yeah, just like this. And I will see you when I'm done. Whoops. With that. Alright, so let's quickly go up so you can see the dimensions a bit. Okay, so I'll finish that. Yeah, so that's done. I made the ring around the birdcage, and now let's have a look if something is happening inside the thing. Oh, as we see, already we get first spawns here. Reason for that being, right here in the middle slots, light level is already below 7. We counted until the edge here. So now if we count from the ceiling, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, so at the edge it's 10, 9, and if we're here in the middle, 8, 7, right here in the middle, there's a dark zone already, and we should see some spawns going on there. So let's see. Yeah, see the skeleton spawned right there, kind of in the middle. Let's see if we can get another one. It's not ideal spawning conditions, it's just so they can spawn. So we need to improve that for sure. See, another creeper skeleton pretty close together right there in the middle again, but you can see very minimal spawn rates, nothing we can work with. Okay, so now it's basically time to start with the water setup. Also, another possibility would be, if you don't want to build the water setup, just extend your roof further. Make sure to close off the top here as well, because light can kind of shine through there, through the gap. So make sure to close that off. But this is the next step in building a birdcage. Okay, so next up we're gonna finish up the roof, and we're gonna connect the basic setup for the water curtain. Okay, so let's start to work on the water setup. First step, replace the edge block here, and I'm use yellow wool again. The half slab needs to be gone, and use a block, a full block. This is to mark out the areas where we have to put down pistons. And now you simply remove the half slabs here all along the way, because we want to put our water right here, so it kind of is directly at the edge here. It goes down there, and we're going to use the pistons for that. So this is, as I said before in the video, not an exact replica of the birdcage I use in my world tour, but it's using exactly the same principle. As I said, I prefer if you guys do your own designs, if you work with the designs, it's always the best way to learn something and to try things out, to improve things. This is the way you should play Minecraft. It's easy to download a world, I provide the download for this one this time, but I really prefer if you play around with the ideas yourself, if you do some testing, maybe some better designs can be found. This is how development works in real life as well. So yeah, as I said, feel free to check it out, but try to build one yourself. So we got the pistons now. Now we need to open up the area where we're gonna put down the water. And we don't need water at the edges here. We don't need water there. So we can leave that in. And we remove the blocks all along on top of the pistons here. So let's quickly do that all the way, and again 2 blocks in. Yeah, don't get seasick by me falling up and down all the time. Excuse me for that. Oops. Okay, now we're gonna go from below. So see, I'm also learning when I do something. That's why you should build, always try to build the stuff yourself. Get inspired, but try it yourself. Okay, so this is where the water will go. And now we need to provide the wiring for the pistons. So we simply will remove another layer of those half slabs here, all along the outside of the pistons, and we're gonna use that to wire them. So keep on removing half slabs. If you build that the design from scratch, you don't need the half slabs on top. For sure you can save that time. So now for the pistons, let's say I use white wool so we can see the wiring nicely. So let's now just fill in the gap here, and we're gonna power those blocks, and those blocks are gonna power our pistons. Okay, I'm done with that. I just placed the white wool all along the piston row here, and then added a line of redstone on top. Now we should start to power those pistons. I'm gonna go about into the middle here, about here, and get rid of some of the half slabs again, so we have some room to work with. And right here in the middle I'm gonna put down my control block with a single switch, the single switch or lever, and we're gonna connect that to our outer rim of pistons. And we're gonna use a repeater to make sure the signal will travel all the way through, and power line comes in from here. And as we use a repeater, the power is transferred to this block, and if we power it now, we should see, yep, power all the way around, and all pistons are basically extended. This is what we need. When we put water on top of it now, it will be held up and will not fall down. So this is the next part of the setup, and now we need to take care of the water so it doesn't spill out. Well, basically we need to catch it below here, right? It's gonna come down right here at the edge. So what we do, and let's see what kind of pink, I didn't use that yet. So pink we're gonna use to catch the water. So simply build a frame like that. You can see if we look up now, the water will come down right at this edge and will collect here. So we're gonna make a frame. In my perimeter world tour setup, I believe I used half slabs to catch the water. You can also do that, you know, but we're simply gonna do it like this for this trap setup. So all the way around. Oops, man, I'm not using creative mode too much, especially the flying. I'm completely noobish with it. I actually do use it, I'm just a noob. I use it all the time in my test worlds. What am I talking about? Well, whatever it is, I kind of tend to fall down all the time. That is not needed. So yep, we got a frame around it now, and for sure we need a floor so the water doesn't spill out. There's the pistons already, so we don't need to close that off. Here, and all the way around. As it is not perfectly symmetrical and we don't have pistons on all sides, we're just gonna put down a floor like this here. No, we need to catch the water, or you can even make it flow further down if you want. I choose this way right now. Would also be cool, you know, if to have the water curtain all the way down or ending up in the middle here. So, well, I'm sure, you know, if you play around with that design a bit, you will come up with cool ideas of your own. cool new features and stuff. Really looking forward to maybe see some nice video responses for that one. Would be much appreciated. So let's finish up the channel here. Okay, so all the way around we have this channels to catch our water, and the last step to complete the water curtain would be to fill in water. If you would do that in legit gameplay, you would for sure make yourself an infinite water well and then just pour the water in, and this is what we're gonna do. And whoop, it looks weird. Could be we're in a swamp biome here originally. Water looks kind of greenish, could be as well because of the green wool. Green of the yellow wool, not quite sure. Looks crazy. Yeah, I think it's because of the yellow. Okay, so let's fill that in real quick. You could even use less water, you know. If you put a water block down there, it reaches all over here, and if you put down another one there, it's good also, but I don't want those floating water noises all the time. So that's why I always tend to completely fill in water I use for stuff like that. And it's easy to come by if you use an infinite water source. And there we go. That is the water curtain setup, and let's check we're on easy, so we're not seeing any spawns going on. And now it's time to test it, and let's say switch the lever, and there we go. Perfect. Water came down nicely. Looking pretty cool, and immediately we can see mobs spawn inside, not like in excessive numbers, but there is a reason for that. If we go upstairs now and look down, sunlight shines through the water here, right? So on top of the water we got sunlight level 15. Water takes it away by 2, so inside the water column we got 13. If we go over, let me quickly, you can stand on the ledge here if you, so reduced by 2, 13, 12, so we got 11 here. Inside there in the middle it's pretty decent, but that's one thing we need to take care of. So we need to close off the water on top, and as it is the roof, I'm gonna stick with the yellow wool, and we're gonna do that, and then we should already see another improvement in the spawn rates. When we're done with that, we will have a look at it and see if we are satisfied, and if not, we can easily extend the roof by 1 block, and I don't think it would look bulky then. But always have an eye out for your proportions, how the thing looks together. That is important if you're into aesthetic building. Form follows function, that's my motto, but always plan ahead a bit, because most of the time if you plan something, things might go wrong and be different. So okay, now we closed off the roof, and let's get some distance between us and the birdcage, and let's see in another time lapse what the spawn rates do right now. yeah, so you saw it's pretty decent, and keep in mind I had the mob collection on, so now if you turn set them on fire and it is turning night, the spawn rates would even pick up. So yeah, satisfied with the setup. As I said, easy improvement would be to extend the roof a little bit more, and time to turn off the water curtain. Looks cool. You know, that's what the birdcage was basically made for. See, it looks so cool with the sun there, and you see the mobs. It's Minecraft romance. So romantic. Yeah. And if it is, as you see, it's getting darker and spawn rates are picking up immediately. And that basically proves light is an important issue. So now, as we saw that, we should do some improvements. As we see, we already run into the first trouble. Oh, spider jockey on the roof. That is trouble in my eyes. So, and spiders, and also on the sides here, you can see spiders and other mobs spawning. So yeah, half slabs is needed. Whoops, I'm in the clouds. We need half slabs, you know, to prevent the spawning happening on top here. So also on the edges or on the ledges there. So now it's time to half slab up the area, and I'm gonna go to peaceful, and we're gonna take care of that. Also, for sure, the butt switch, but this is basically very easy now in the end. Let me quickly get some half slabs going. Where do we have one? Let's take those. Okay, well, we saw they can spawn on here, quite obvious, kind of dark, and it's a full block, so they can spawn on there. So we need to half slab areas they probably can spawn on. Also, you saw them spawning right there in the channel, so half slab that out as well. This area should be safe now, and we completely do this for all the channels. It's important. And for the roof, you could even put lighting there, you know, that will prevent spawning as well. That is an easy solution. You don't have to half slab up all your roof. I kind of did a mixture in my world tour. I had some lighting with some glowstone, but also used half slabs. So, as I said before, feel free to do whatever you want to add and change, and yeah. So let's get some torches going, and we'll basically put some torches up here. So this should make this area safe. Yeah, you don't need two. Just do it because I'm always OCD with those details, obsessed with details. You could say maybe one here in the middle. And now the roof should be cool. And well, for the butt switch, in the beginning of the video I showed you the design Docm77 did, and there is a link in the video description. Please check it out, a link to his tutorial how you make one of these butt switches. Also, Etho provided a butt switch setup. It's a single butt switch day-night detector. GL combined 5 of those to make the setup more sensitive or sensible, and basically you can choose whatever you want. You don't even have to add a butt switch, but basically what you would do, you could make a butt switch setup right here in the middle, right on top, and simply connect it to the redstone here instead of the lever. And there you go. You know, make sure maybe you have to invert your signal. It depends on the output of your butt switch. Make sure that it is set up. Okay, we get some spawns. We need some more light. Make sure it is set up like that. You know, when it's daytime, grass will grow in the butt switch. So you know, keep that in mind. It's working in the right way. You know what I'm talking about. You know, maybe you have to invert the signal or not. You will see. But I'd say this concludes the tutorial for the birdcage. I will quickly put down some torches on top here so we don't get any more spawns. Come on. Yeah, come on. Oh, poor fellow. Slowly but surely I even feel for the creepers. I don't know. Play this game a lot. I'm crazy sometimes. Okay, so should be good now. Let's get some distance between us and the design. And I'd say this concludes the tutorial slash inside look on the birdcage and how to make a birdcage. As I said, looking forward to video responses, looking forward to interpretations of your own, you know, the way you see it. And yeah, for sure, down there you see I don't have the glass panels. You should close it off. It's better that way, safer. Yeah, I will leave it open for the download, so you have at least work a little bit on it. And I'd say that's it for today. I hope you liked this video. We see no spawns on the roof. We see a lot of action going on inside the birdcage. That's it for today. Wow, really a lot. I'm out. Have fun playing around with this map yourself. Keep in mind to download in the description. Bye. Bye.